Here's what I eat in a day as someone who got upgraded to first class because they got very lucky. I started out at the club at ATL, which is like their first class lounge, I guess. They had a ton of food. I started with a little salad. I got crazy and got some naan and guac, and then I had some soup as well. It was pretty good selection. I started with the chicken and dumplings. I don't really like chicken and dumplings, so I'm not sure why I got it, but I salt and peppered it up, and you know what? It was okay. It wasn't your mom's cooking, but it was okay. Then I had the salad. It was pretty basic because the toppings were really bare, but I love a vinaigrette, so that was a plus. Then I had the guac with some chips. That was my favorite. I put pico on top of it too for some extra flavor. Solid selection. I liked the naan with hummus, but the naan was cold and I prefer my naan warm. Then I ended with a classic chocolate chip cookie. It was just like a Walmart cookie, so you can't really beat it. For this meal, I'd go 7 out of 10. Then we got on the actual plane, and this is where the fun starts. I had my own little pod, which was insane. As you can tell, I was very excited and felt very lucky. They came around and gave us a little bag with toiletries and handed us a menu and some orange juice. I don't really like orange juice, so I gave it to my dad, but we did a cheers before, which was really cute. I scrolled around, looked at the movie selection for a bit, and then they came out to set up my dinner table, which popped right out of the little thing there. It was super cool. They put a little napkin, and I was in shock. This was the coolest thing that had ever happened to me. They came around and gave us a little container of warm mixed nuts, which was an interesting choice for sure. And then they handed out a little container of olive oil and baby salt and peppers, and I'm a sucker for a little baby container. They put up a little candle, gave us our silverware, and started with the first appetizer. This was supposed to be like a shrimp Caesar salad. It didn't really look like it. I started with the shrimp. It was pretty good, had good flavor, but it was definitely overcooked for shrimp, but I still liked it. Then I went for the salad part, which was just plain lettuce. There was no sauce. Then I got the bread. It was good. It was warm. You can't beat bread. For this meal, I'd go 7 out of 10. Next was my entree. I had chicken with rice and asparagus. Asparagus is my favorite veggie, so I was very happy. I started with the chicken. I had a little gravy on it. It was very hot when I got it, but you know what? It was okay. Then I had the rice. This was atrociously awful. I'm a texture eater. The texture was awful. I had to spit it out. I'm so sorry. I know it's gross, okay? Then I had the asparagus. I love asparagus. I already said it. That was a win. For this meal, I'd go 6 out of 10 because the rice was just so bad. Then they came out with a little dessert. I think this was like a caramel mousse. I don't like raspberries, so I didn't eat the raspberries, but the mousse was really good. I don't like things that are too sweet, and this was not too sweet. So I'd give this one a solid 8.5 out of 10, which is really rare for me because I'm a picky eater. Then I took a little nap and went to sleep for the night. I slept for about 4 hours before waking up at 5:30 in the morning, Atlanta time, and they handed me a little breakfast menu, and they started me off with some fresh fruit. I love fruit, so I was really excited about this one. Had some honeydew, some pineapple, some kiwi, some strawberries, a win. Then I got a hot chocolate. It was fabulous. I don't know if it was Turkish hot chocolate or not, but it was fire. Then I had some chicken breast. It was not good. I don't understand why you'd have chicken in the morning. I had a yogurt parfait. I have a yogurt parfait every single morning for breakfast, so that was a win. Then they just gave us a couple pieces of cheese in a little container, but I only ate the feta cheese because that is my fave cheese of all time, so that was definitely a 10 out of 10 for that. This was what was left over from that, and I thought we were done, but then they brought me an omelet, which I was surprised about because it had mushrooms, and I'm deathly afraid of mushrooms. I'm sorry. But the omelet was just a feta cheese omelet, which was good because it was feta, but the omelet was just okay. Then they gave us this potato thing, and it tastes like a scallion pancake to me, so that was okay. For this meal, I'd go for a 6 out of 10. Then I spent some time watching the live feed of the plane flying before the flight ended, and I said goodbye to my first class.